Welcome into the Dynasty Mafia podcast, everybody. Antonio, Eric, and Keenan with you as always, back for another great show. And we just didn't have enough of our guest last week, Jeremy, that we just had to bring him back for a second episode. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Oh, I'm just out here podcasting away.
Podcasting away, man. Still grinding, still busy from last week. Keenan and Eric, how we doing tonight, fellas? Happy Thursday.
Good. Eric, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good, Keenan. How are you doing?
I'm well, Eric. How's your draft going, buddy?
So the one draft, I had my first pick in the 5th round, and my first pick in the drafts. Other than that, that's how my draft is going.
Are we going to split this up into 2 podcasts? Let Anthony and Jeremy talk, and you and I talk over them?
I really like that. Whatever camaraderie you two had just going on there.
To fill in our listeners, Antonio was yelling at me and Eric about not saying hi at our last episode. So I told them I take the lead, but then I kind of flipped it on Eric.
As usual.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful. Disrespectful. That's all we are. We respect all of our listeners. We appreciate all of our listeners. And we have a schedule release that just came out. So we've had a lot going on this month of May after everything's been so quiet for a little while. But it feels like football is kind of coming back a little bit, right? I don't know about you guys, but they're talking about mini camps. They're talking about, and then we'd have training camp right around the corner in a couple months, and all of a sudden, it's going to be week 1. Speaking of week 1, we're going to talk about that a little bit. As I just said, the schedule release is very fresh. We're just about 24 hours away from that, so we really haven't had a crazy amount of time to scope through that, but we definitely see a lot of good things on week 1. We've also got a live mock draft tonight. Like I said, we had Jeremy last week for our top 12 rankings in Superflex. It just went so well. We just wanted to do a mock. We have some drafts going on in some of our leagues that we're all in, so we're excited. That's all I can say. We're excited. So who's ready to mock?
Oh, I am. I can tell you that.
Let's do it.
Well,
How many draft picks you got in tomorrow's draft?
I don't know.
He is
like 13.
35% of the draft.
Okay, I've had like 10 picks in every single draft, and I don't know who I'm cutting yet. So my rosters are. I maxed out on the MFL one. I had to cut somebody to make my last pick, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I was looking for trade partners because I wanted to get 1-1 out of the way, and I was looking at everyone's draft picks, and people had a 4th, a 5th. Maybe one second, maybe one first. I look at Jeremy's, and I had to scroll for like 3 minutes to see all the picks. I'm like,
just to get out of the second round.
I'm like, this guy's cheating. He's taking all the picks from everyone.
It's a good draft to have it.
Some of them. Well, we're going to talk about that.
I don't bother
later
asking him. I don't bother asking him for draft picks. It would cost me a mortgage payment. I'd have to pay his mortgage next month.
Well,
to get a second.
I had to quit my job to do the fantasy football, so I got to come up with money somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got, like I said, we have the Mafia market coming up a little later, so we're going to talk about some trades. Or actually, why don't we get right into actually talking about a trade? It's off season. We're in the dead of it. Let's start talking about some trades. So let's get into the Mafia market.
Mafia market.
So who wants to go first? We got Eric and Jeremy making a move, and then we got Keenan who made a move. Looks like maybe we should go Keenan first.
I don't know what Eric.
What happened, Eric? Well,
Eric quit. So Keenan, you made a pretty big trade in Jeremy's league, our 10-team one quarterback.
We
just started our draft. And you had the 101.
Yeah, I had the 101. I was leaning towards taking Pitts over Chase. The draft got pushed back a week. I don't know why. I don't know why we pushed it back, Jeremy.
But don't even get me started.
Yeah, but
blood pressure up.
So I went through everyone's roster, and this happened at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I texted our buddy Eric Bizum, and he was up. I was like, "Oh, perfect." You want to know why I like when people answer at 12 o'clock at night? they don't have anyone to go to ask them why if this is a fair trade. All right, so,
Oh, my Lord.
so it was a fair trade. It was a fair trade, but there's no one to talk them out of the trade. Okay, so I'll tell you a quick story. So I offer him 1-1. I offer him. I gotta pull it up. 1 sec. I'm sorry.
It's actually in the. I put it in the doc. So you got 1-1. Oh, you wanted to say what you started with?
Yeah,
What
hold
the
on.
actual trade was?
Yeah. So
while
I offered
he's
him.
looking at that,
I got it. So I offered him 1-1, Joe Mixon, Gabriel Davis, and Landry, and for Jefferson and Eckler. So he's like, "Oh, that's a good offer." I'm like, "Yeah, let's make it happen." So he's like, "Oh, let me think about it." I'm like, so a few minutes go by. I'm talking to him. I'm like, "How about I'll throw you 2023 first?" Because I wanted Jefferson, I wanted Eckler really bad. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." I'm like, "All right, I'll throw you a second next year too. Let's get this done right now." He's like, "All right, send it." Send it, accepts it. The next morning, everyone's freaking out because I didn't send the emoji with the little light or anything to tell everyone that trade happened. People are losing their minds. Then I got a couple texts of people telling me I overpaid. Then I trade Tannehill for 2.5. So I got my second round pick and back, and I got rid of Tannehill in a one quarterback.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
So let me break this down. So you traded 1-1, Joe Mixon,
Yep.
Gabriel Davis, Jarvis Landry,
Yep.
a 22 second, a 23 first, and
Yep.
that was for Austin Eckler and Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you break that down, because I was one of the people trying to get 1-1 from you, and I'm still pretty bitter about it because I had Tyreek Hill in my offer, so if some of you people can understand, had to be a good offer. Anyway, if you break that down, Justin Jefferson to me probably equals the 1-1 in that 23 first, and then Eckler would equal Mixon, Davis, Landry, and then a 22 second. That's where you and I kind of differed in that. I definitely see where your move was. You're trying to win this year, so you upgrade at running back. Technically, upgrade at a proven wide receiver.
Don't forget, I got my second round pick.
And you still got your second round pick.
Now I got 2 years to get my first round pick back.
Yeah, you better not win this year. I'm really banking on you having 1-1 again next year, honestly.
You got my pick?
Yeah, I got it.
No.
So
Well, wait till I make a couple more trades in that league.
Yeah. If I have to sabotage your score, I will.
Yeah.
Collusion.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all in too many leagues together. I think that's what it comes down to. So, Jeremy, you made a move in the draft. You had 1-4, and you made a trade with Eric for 2-22 firsts. I was pretty surprised.
He had to do it. He was going to hit the roster limit.
Oh, there he is.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back. Gonna hit the roster limit. No, that
came at the right time.
I was just very surprised. I mean, I know. Does it have anything to do with the fact you had 4 picks, or do you think just value wise, 1-4 is kind of worth 2-22 first?
Mine was how many picks I have.
Yeah.
The value is still kind of there. I mean, I feel like it's pretty much the same. I mean, I was banking on Keenan's pick not being crazily good, but now he's bulking up his rod. Then I wake up in the morning and realize he made the trade that he did, and I'm like, well, there goes that plan. But I don't know. I just figured I had 1-3, 1-4, 8, and 9, so I already have 4 of the top 12 running backs basically. So
you got to remember, I had Sutton, McCaffrey, Mixon all go down last year.
Oh, just wait. I'm ready. Bring it on.
I'm just saying.
No. And you were the only team that beat me last year, other than
I was the
losing in the championship.
Yeah.
And you were the last team, so it wasn't just karma. But
well, I also set my roster.
Pope, you better be careful. I got a move in the works. I'm gonna get your guy.
Everybody has moves in the works.
I'm jumping up.
I got 2.
Jumping up.
He's probably listening. Let's get those 2 trades done, buddy.
Oh my God!
It's good to make moves. It's good to make moves, but let's make a move over to the schedule conversation. So, like I said, we want to talk about week 1, just with how fresh everything is. We haven't divulged fully into everything, but week 1, there's a really few interesting games coming up. I think the NFL did a really, really good job setting it up. Just looking at it, there's no games that's truly disappointing. The Raiders got Monday Night Football again. in week 1 for like how many years it seems like.
Well, they're showing off their new stadiums. That's because last year they had week 1. If you look at the schedule, almost the same teams had the same primetime games. At least the home teams, because the NFL didn't have a chance to show off their stadiums with a full fans in the seats, full stadiums. So that they're just doing what their plan was last year.
Can we talk about why are the Cowboys playing the Buccaneers?
That
I was about to ask
random.
you. Do you think that? So you think there was a better choice? You don't think that was because in my mind you have the Super Bowl champion, which makes sense. You got a lot of viewers there, but then I feel like the Cowboys, you have the anticipation of Dak coming back, and they're America's team. The highest rated games in the last few years have involved the Cowboys.
There's one team that comes to mind that would have been a perfect opponent for the Bucs, the Patriots.
Oh, I was thinking the Bills.
The Patriots.
Yeah, I think the Bills or the Patriots would have been. I think Patriots probably would have been the one to go with. I think.
Now we got to wait till week 5 to see the Belichick versus Brady matchup. 4, whatever. Still got to wait a whole month.
Well, the reason why, again, we were going to talk about, but I think that's not week 1 because you almost know who the quarterback is week 1, and it's going to be Cam Newton. I think the NFL wants it to be Mac Jones versus Tom Brady. I think the NFL wants it to be the next up-and-coming star for Bill Belichick to mold against Tom Brady because they don't care about Cam Newton. I could be wrong.
I think I don't know. Who are the Patriots playing week 1? Miami?
They play the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could win that game. They definitely could win that game. But then they're at the Jets. And then the Patriots are going to play
the Saints.
The Saints. I'm just looking because when you come week 4 time, they could be 0-3. And if they're 0-3 and now they're playing the Bucs
on Sunday Night Football.
On Sunday Night Football, there's a chance Mac Jones is starting for the Patriots week 4. And you got Tom Brady coming in. I don't know, that would be pretty interesting.
I'm looking at week 1 schedule. These are all pretty disappointing games.
Disappointing? I think they're awesome.
Pittsburgh, Buffalo, whatever. New York Jets.
That could be a preview of an AFC. Like that's where. But see, the Steelers need to try to show that they're the second best team in the AFC.
Jets versus Carolina. Who cares? Seahawks,
that's
Indy.
The Darnold matchup.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers, Washington. Who cares? 49ers, Detroit. Who cares?
Are you kidding me? Los Angeles versus Washington's pretty interesting.
So you just mentioned the Darnold Bowl, man. Darnold faces the Jets.
I know. I was kidding.
Yeah, well, I know. I
was kidding.
I see what you did. Don't worry. I see what you did. But let's talk about that one. So Sam Darnold hosts the Jets. The Carolina Panthers host the Jets for week 1. How do you think that's going to go? You got Zach Wilson coming in, baby Darnold.
I wish that was a primetime game.
Yeah, like, can we talk about why? I mean, Keenan's got to be right that's why Vegas has the primetime game that week. But, like,
well, look at the primetime
what's so
game.
big about the Ravens versus Oakland that's a Monday Night Football game? I mean, but it feels like the Raiders are always on that first week Monday Night Football.
Because they're predicting Aaron Rodgers is getting traded there.
Well, the reason the Raiders are on Monday Night Football is they used to have that doubleheader.
That's what I mean. I think that's what's going to be.
Yeah, and it's usually a West Coast team that plays in the late game. But I mean, even Chicago versus the Rams. I mean,
that's a good game. Don't even.
Andy Dalton, unless Fields is the starter.
Fields will be starting.
Yeah.
So
Andy Dalton. So Stafford could be he's familiar with the Bears. Gets to play them again.
Yeah, you're unveiling the shiny new Justin Fields.
I think Dalton is the starter.
You know what interests me a lot, though, is Minnesota plays against Cincinnati. So you get to have Justin Jefferson,
Jamar Chase.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I think that's going to be pretty cool to see that matchup. So while we're on that little topic here, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase were teammates. We all know that. Justin Jefferson didn't perform as well as Jamar Chase. Do you think there's a chance that they come out week 1 and they're going to show Burrow and Chase? They're going to show, hey, buddy, this is how good we really are and how good we really were. And Jamar Chase could have a fantastic game showing up against Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. I think Jamar Chase is going to be their main target. I love Tyler Boyd a lot, and I think Tyler Boyd will see a good amount of targets, but I think Jamar Chase is going to be the wide receiver one there.
What about
Burrow
Higgins?
wanted him.
What about Higgins?
Chase
is Burrow
better.
playing week 1?
Yeah, he's playing week 1. Don't worry.
Playing this one.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing week 1. So you just said real quick, Higgins, Keenan. You asked about Higgins. So out of Higgins and Boyd, who do you think takes the bigger hit?
I think Higgins does. I think Higgins does. I think Boyd, no matter if he's the first or second option or even third option, I still think he gets his targets. Where I think if Higgins becomes the third option there, they kind of, I don't know. For this
year, I think they all take a hit. But I mean, long term, it's obviously Boyd. I think it's great for Higgins actually long term because now he's got another dominant wide receiver outside of him. For potentially the rest of his career, and depending if they both stay there, how long they both stay there.
I think my concern with Boyd is that even though it seems like his slot role might be secured, he's not going to get you the 8 to 10 touchdowns. So you're almost requiring that Boyd has to get you 80 or 90 catches to kind of figure out, I think, where his draft value is going to go. Because if he gets that, he's probably going to average 10, 11 yards a catch. So you're looking at 80 catches for 800 yards and maybe 6 touchdowns. That's not very appealing to me compared to what he could have done or could be. I don't know. All right, so Tua versus Mac Jones maybe week 1. You got the Patriots and Dolphins.
No.
So former teammates. That might be interesting.
It's not happening. They'll meet up again.
They'll meet up again?
Yeah, in the second matchup.
Oh, yeah, true. That's very true. You got the Browns against the Chiefs. I'm excited to see how the Chiefs are going to perform against the Browns, who might be a top 5 defense, especially when they both have revamped each of their opposing lines. What else was pretty interesting? Keenan didn't like the Steelers and Bills. Like I said, I think that could be two teams that are really trying to see who is the next best team to compete with the Chiefs. And if the Steelers don't start off too hot, that doesn't look too well, man.
Yeah, if Najee doesn't get his 100-yard game against the Bills, nothing against the Bills, but we know they can't stop the run, really, so.
I don't know. That's interesting. The Bills have 3 of their first 4 games at home and then 3 of their last 4 games at home.
I feel like that's
middle.
I feel like that's kind of like a go-to. I feel like it was like that last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, they do that every year. They put October, mid-November, the Bills won't have any home games, and then they'll pack it in December with all the home games when it's cold and snowy, and no one wants to go to the games unless the Bills are good.
You know what's another interesting one? Not to talk about the Bills, but I think Jags-Texans could be interesting.
I was just, man. You got Trevor Lawrence first game. I feel like no matter what, no matter who he was playing.
I mean, if Watson's playing, you get 2 of the great Clemson quarterbacks playing against each other.
I don't think he's playing.
I don't think so either, but I'm just saying if he is.
What's the quarterback?
If not, you get either Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills,
For the love of God, Tyrod Taylor. He's still in the damn league, huh?
Tyrod's doing it, man.
I mean, he'd still be the starter in LA if the doctor didn't try to take him out.
The good doctor.
Can we talk about what's going on with Eric here? You would
he doesn't like us today.
You would think we planned this like an hour.
I'm back. Sorry.
Well, we knew about this podcast for about 3 days now. What time we were doing it, and now he's too busy for us. You see this?
He'll get over it.
Yeah.
Let's move on with the show here.
Yeah, let's get on to now that we've completed that. That's really kind of what I want to talk about there. But week 14 buys came into play. Something I wasn't really sure. I was hoping wasn't going to come in because of just the way certain playoffs would work or ramifications, and just that late in the season you don't normally see it. I think we usually had week 12 was the last week during the 16 games. So now we get this inaugural 17 game. We had 4 teams showing up on a bye for week 14. I believe, I got to double check off the top of my head, but I think it's Colts, Eagles, and Titans, and I'll double check the 4th team. maybe Niners. So, I mean, that's kind of impactful teams. But with that being said, were you guys planning on, or at least of the commissioners of your league said that you'd be pushing from the traditional 14, 15, 16 week for playoffs, that it'll be 15, 16, 17?
I believe so. I mean, I'm not a commissioner of any leagues, but if I was, I would 100% be pushing it. I know a lot of people are worried about players sitting in week 17. I don't think that's going to happen because it wouldn't necessarily be ideal at a football standpoint to sit players for, that would actually be about 4 weeks. It'd almost be a month because the last game they would play is week 16. They'd be sitting that week, week 17 to 18, 18 to 19.
19 to 20.
Yeah, and then 19 to 20. So, I mean, they're sitting a month. That's just not ideal. So yeah, I'd be pushing it. And on top of that, for a fact there's 4 teams on a bye week 14, so somebody's getting screwed for sure.
Yeah, I'd be PO if my top players were on a bye that week. What teams are on a bye that in week 14, Tony? Antonio, I'm sorry.
I said I was going to look that up, and I got sidetracked. But yeah, definitely it was Colts, Eagles, 40, Cowboys, Broncos, Vikings. Nope, that's different. Nope. I'm looking at.
Got it. Hold on. Hold on, linked up right here.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was the
week 14. Indy, Miami, New England, Philly. Imagine having
New England, Philly.
Imagine JT being on a bye and you have him.
Jalen Hurts if he pans out.
Yeah, like Devonta Smith. Like there was 2 schools of
Miles
thought that I had
Sanders.
with that. I was thinking like, well, guess what? Like you got him for 13 weeks now. Those are some elite players. So hopefully you are in a position where you don't have to worry about week 14 as much.
And if you look at the buys too, sorry to interrupt. Week 8 they got two teams on a bye, and week 12 they got 2 teams on a bye. And every other week there's 4 teams on a bye. Why wouldn't you just?
It's really like a bad. Did they have week 13 buys or week 13 or 12 buys like before this year?
I think it was week 12 was the latest. But if
week 12.
You got that pulled up, week 13 I'm pretty sure has got some juggernauts too on bye.
Because I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, so if your playoffs week 15 and like week 14 you're missing Jonathan Taylor and you got to win to get in, that's gonna stink.
Yeah, or Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that though than be in the playoffs and not have Jonathan.
No,
Taylor.
I totally agree. I wouldn't want that at all. Like I'm gonna make mine 15 to 17. There's not gonna be. I'm not gonna let them vote. It's just gonna be what it is.
Hope, tell everyone what your plan is or what you're thinking of doing.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of originally I was going to try and expand the playoffs and make it where it was 4 weeks, but that was before knowing the buys. And then now knowing the buys, I might just make it like the NFL and just run 7 teams, give the best team a bye, and then have 3 games week 1, and then 2 week 2, and then the championship, obviously.
Yeah. You think the person that makes a schedule thinks about fantasy football at all?
No.
Maybe.
I mean, honestly, you think about it, the NFL, it's got to be part of it. Like, you think about it, the NFL makes money off it. They've got to. I mean, they have their own leagues and all that stuff. So all the marketing, it's got to be somewhat put into there.
They weren't thinking about it this year.
Maybe we'll write a letter. Roger,
Yeah.
This is the Dynasty Mafia.
We need to let you know what is going on. All right. Well, speaking of the Dynasty Mafia, you can follow us on Twitter at Dynasty Mafia _FF. You can find me at Antonio Denisi FF. You can find Keenan at Keenan _716 and Eric at Big E _FF. Make sure to check out our website, dynastymafiapodcast.network. And if you're with us live on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get alerted every time that we are live. Tell your friends. No, but Jeremy, speaking of, I kind of fumbled reintroducing you earlier. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and what you do?
If I run the show, that's
it's all right. You know, more people are paying attention now, anyway. So, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter at PopesFFH. Pretty much, you can find any of my writing over at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and Yards Per. Every now and then, I toss some on the Dynasty Mafia website as well. But other than that, just kind of find me on Twitter. I interact with pretty much everybody and anything I can. So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Amen.
And his cell phone number is 716.
All right, so let's actually get into what we came here for. We're trying to mock. That's what we want. That's what we want to do. So as I get this maneuvered, we just got myself there. Look at that. We are using Fantasy Pros. We're doing a 2-round rookie Superflex mock draft. We each have a team, so it'll be Eric 1, me 2, Keenan 3, and Jeremy 4, and we'll just go in that sequential order for, like I said, the 2 rounds. So
are there only 4
guys,
teams?
No, Eric has picked 1, then 5, then 9. Making me do math here.
Nice.
Yeah. If everybody makes sure to get that, I'll have pick 2, pick 6, pick 10, so on and so forth. And
are we picking them as like one team, or is it just like if we're team 5?
If you're that team, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just picking. So
Okay.
like Eric will go, and then I'll pick. And you'll be picking for that team. So just let me know because I am controlling. But let's make sure we kind of go through the thought process aloud. Kind of let the listeners go see kind of what we're going through. So Eric, you are on the clock in the Superflex draft, and tell me why you're not picking Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, tell us.
Say it again. Why I'm not picking him? All right, yeah. You know what? I am going with the kid, Zach. No, I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. Are you kidding me right now? Come on. He's the guarantee prospect in my eyes. Obviously, he's got great weapons. I think too. I think Laviska is going to take a step forward. Obviously, DJ Shark there. They got 2 great running backs. And not a good defense, which is always good for offense. So I think he's gonna be an impact right off the bat, and he's gonna have a long and great career. So mark it up.
All right, that's pretty easy. Yeah, pretty easy. I think where we get a little bit mischievous now is here at number 2. I'm going Jamar Chase. So like I said, we are a super flex, so you will tend to see more quarterbacks, especially in this top 5, going more often than not. But Jamar Chase, as I said last week, as I'm going to say all offseason, I think he's going to get 150-plus targets. I think he's getting, nearly 10 targets a game. Joe Burrow connection with Jamar Chase is going to come back as it was in college. And I think that offense is actually going to be able to do some wonders. They threw the ball a hell of a lot last year, and they're going to continue to do that. So as much as I'd like to go Justin Fields, my quarterback too, I have to go Jamar Chase here. So I'm going to pass it along to Jeremy now. Pick number 3.
No, that's me.
Oh, that's Candy.
Keenan.
I'm 4.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, the way I look at it here now, I think the best quarterback's off the board, and I think the number 1 prospect outside of quarterback is off the board. This is where I try to trade down and get an extra pick in maybe a late first or and maybe something else. I don't know. But being a super flex league, you can't pass someone like Justin Fields. So I'd take Justin Fields. Hopefully they can re-sign Allen Robinson over there for a long-term deal to help them. I think, Eric, you made a good point the other day when it comes to Robinson. If they don't re-sign him, who do they have?
Darnell Mooney, baby.
Yeah, that's all they have really after Robinson. But I think Fields is the second best prospect when it comes to quarterback, so I'll take Fields.
Oh, I like it.
So
And-
you so even if you might have Trey Lance starting week 1, you obviously know you have Zach Wilson starting week 1. Do you feel like Justin Fields is going to be starting that first half of the year?
It doesn't matter.
You're confident picking it. You don't care.
It doesn't matter. You take best player available. Who you think is going to have the better career? And Lance is up there for me. But
this is why I traded out of 4, even though it's not super flex. I hate 4.
It's a tough spot to be in. You got a lot of good options.
Such an easy pick here.
It's got to be Kyle Pitts. That's my opinion, and that's who I'm going to take here at 4. Basically, I mean, he's arguably. I know you guys were arguing Chase is the best non-quarterback in the draft, but Kyle Pitts is a phenomenal talent as far as prospects go. He's top notch as far as tight ends go. And if I can get 12 years of Travis Kelce type production, I mean, you can't pass on a tight end like that in this landscape. So I also don't love Lance and Wilson, so that's why I'm going to pass on them.
One problem that I have with everybody who is enamored with Pitts but tries to downplay him is, rookies don't ever do well. Rookie tight ends don't do well year one. But wasn't he the highest, drafted tight end ever? I mean, they're going to use him. They decided not to protect their quarterback who's 37. They decided not to replace their quarterback who's 37. They decided not to address the running back position at all they replaced him with a 28-year-old Mike Davis. I mean, they are very clearly wanting to throw the ball. I think they're going to use Pitts like a wide receiver and a tight end, and I don't see any reason why you couldn't see him getting 900 yards.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that at all. I think that he's going to have a very good target share in that offense.
All right, Eric, you are at pick number 5. So far, we started out Trevor Lawrence, Jamar Chase, Justin Fields, and Kyle Pitts. We still have Najee Harris on the board. You got Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
So I am going to go with the man I was trying to trade up for. I was trying so hard. I was trying to trade Deshaun Watson for a first-round pick plus just a little something else. Because my man, he fell to pick 8, but I just couldn't get any. I could not trade Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson for the life of me. I couldn't figure it out, but I'm going with Zach Wilson. He's my number 2 quarterback. It didn't change after the draft. I think his wide receiver core is just fine. Because I guess most of that is because I'm pretty high on Elijah Moore, maybe a little bit higher than others. So him with Crowder, Corey Davis, Mims. I think they're good to go there. I'm going with my man Zach Wilson.
All right, so I'm going to be up at 6 now. I'm going to be honest. I expect you to go Trey Lance there. Well, I mean, I know you, but generally, I would think Trey Lance might go over Zach Wilson, but maybe not in some drafts if you got someone like Eric feeling pretty high on Wilson as the Jets do. So I think now my hand is forced. I probably, if he didn't go quarterback, I might have went Najee Harris. But with this one, I think I'm going to have to go Trey Lance. It's tough to pass up any quarterback in a Kyle Shanahan system, and I think Trey Lance is going to be a good proponent of that. Even though I thought they were going to select Justin Fields, I think the more you see the conversations they have with Trey Lance, what they're going to do with him, and the way they want to use him, I think a lot of good things can happen. And it might even be starting at week 1. So Trey Lance, after back-to-back Zach Wilson and Trey Lance quarterback picks, and Jeremy went Kyle Pitts. So Keenan, 3 of the last 4 were quarterbacks.
Why do you keep saying that Lance might start week 1?
Because I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be there.
I think he is. I was just curious.
I don't think they want to rock the boat. No, I don't think they're going to rock the boat. Honestly, what I did, the boat of, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Who cares?
You might as well just let Trey Lance get him started. I don't think you're going to have. If Garoppolo starts 0-3, you're going to put Trey Lance in. So just get rid of him.
That team is not starting 0-3. No matter.
Yeah, but why would Garoppolo start 0-3? He's always done pretty good when he was healthy. Yeah, they went to a Super Bowl.
It's an offense that you don't need a great quarterback. That's the key. So why not just start Lance? You know what I mean? I get it. Garoppolo's good, but
I fully understand sitting him though, just because the little experience he has.
I think he needs to.
Hasn't taken a snap in 2 years.
Yeah, that's my biggest take is that I just don't have enough on Trey Lance, and that's why he's my 4. I just don't. I saw him run an offense that he runs a lot. He was the main weapon in North Dakota. He was just way better than everybody else there. I just still can't buy into it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, and Keenan just said it. He hasn't played in almost a year and a half. So, do you really want to sit him now to potentially not play for 2 years?
You want to make sure he has a good understanding of the offense, first of all, and second of all, you want to make sure he's in football shape. They'll have some time for that, but I think if Jimmy G hasn't been traded by now, he's not getting traded.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think there's going to be a lot of post-June 1 moves that we don't usually see this year, but we'll find out.
Is that the deadline for bonuses?
It's when teams can get more salary cap if they cut players or trade them. You got your post June cuts or your post June trades, but we'll see. We'll see how they designate them. So
All
you
right.
are on the clock, number 7, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Back to the draft here. So now, in my eyes, I always target running back once the top quarterbacks are gone, top wide receiver, and then top tight end in this case. So I'm going to go Najee Harris. He's going to get the bulk of the carries there in Pittsburgh, who is usually, besides last year, a good running team. I think they'll figure it out on that offensive line. I don't think they'll struggle as much as they did last year. I think Connors was just hit a wall and maybe hit a ceiling, and he just wasn't good anymore. That's why that and he was hurt a lot last year. That's why that running game didn't really have a good season. So I think Najee Harris will fit perfectly there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think that's a good selection there. It's a good selection. Jeremy, number 8.
Oh, I'm taking my RB1, baby. Javonte.
How mad
would
were you
take
that I
I
took
figured
him?
you would be.
How mad were you that I took him last week?
I wasn't mad because I got Derrick Henry and Debo Samuel. I mean,
Oh, well, we won't.
otherwise I would have taken him. So, you know what I mean? I knew I wasn't going to get him as soon as I accepted the trade. I mean, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's why you still texted me. Oh, what do you want for this pick?
Well,
Jimmy,
yeah, because I figured if I
Always
could get
gotta
it.
Jimmy, get the hell out of here.
Just like Keenan when he traded for a pick the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, let me see what I can get for this."
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just figured,
I almost had something. I had something brewing. That's why you.
never had anything.
I had-
You're always
Yes.
cooking.
Ask Eric Bizzum. He'll tell you. I had something. He wanted your boy that you took. Who was it?
Anyways, let's be
People are
real
gonna
here.
think we only play in a league with 5 people.
Yeah, right.
That's Eric Bizzum.
Anyways, Javonte Williams should have went ahead of Najee Harris, in my opinion. I think that he's going to have a better career. I think he's got a couple years that he can ahead as far as the career longevity goes ahead of Najee. And I think that the offensive line in Pittsburgh scares me. I think that Najee's never ran behind an offensive line that bad, and I'm a little concerned. He's obviously going to get more touches than Javonte, but I think Javonte proved that he can work in a split backfield and produce at a high level. So for me, I'm all in on Javonte.
So, all right, that's pretty fair, man. That's pretty fair. You still have the top wide receivers, Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle, both part of Najee Harris's team at Alabama, and you have Travis Etienne still up there. So Eric, pick here at 9. What are you looking at going? You got McCorkle Jones still on the board too.
I'm gonna go Travis Etienne. Just what running backs obviously produce for you in fantasy is just unmatched. And I don't think it's going to be long before he does take over. I love J-Rob. I think he is very, very talented, but with the draft capital, the talent, the chemistry with Trevor Lawrence, I don't think it's going to be long until, hopefully they find a trade partner for J-Rob and get him out of there and just clear that up. But, obviously for this year, it's going to be a bit of a split if they don't get rid of James Robinson. But I'm going Etienne. I think he's going to have a really good career and be a really good producer for a long time.
All right.
All right.
I like Etienne a lot. I actually think he has a chance as going here as the third running back off the board. I think he has a best chance of the 3 to finish as top 1. Well, maybe not the best chance. Obviously, Harris might, but I don't know. I really like Etienne's spot. I think they're going to use him perfectly. I really do. It just all depends on if Urban Meyer's system is going to work, and that's ultimately. But if Cliff Kingsbury can make something kind of work, we'll see. All right, man. Mine's easy. I'm going Devonta Smith. I'm just getting right to it. I am so excited this year to have a late pick in Superflex drafts in the first round because you can get someone like a Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith. I think Devonta Smith has a good shot. As I said, Jamar Chase is going to get 150 targets. Devonta Smith won't get out that much, but I think 120, 130 is very much in the realm. He's just a fantastic wide receiver. He uses his body so well. I'm not worried about the weight at all. He's actually my number. Let me pull it up. Number 6 overall player in Superflex. So I'm excited to get him here at 10. Keenan, number 11.
And my pick is easy too. I'll take Waddle. I think Tua last year struggled because his wide receivers had a hard time finding separation. And I think Waddle does a great job there. I think he's going to play a lot in the slot this year with Fuller and Parker on the ends. But Fuller's on a 1-year deal, so you don't have to worry about that much for that long, right? 1-year deal with Fuller.
Yep.
And Parker's getting
suspension.
And Parker is getting up there in age, so I think Waddle will be the number 1 there in no time. And they drafted him 6th overall, so they are going to feature him.
So are you expecting? This is a 2-part question. 1, are you expecting Tua to take a leap this year for that to happen? And then 2, do you think there is a drop off right now after you just selected Jalen Waddle in the draft?
Oh yeah, it's the second question. I think there's a huge drop.
I'm intrigued to hear what Jeremy's going to do with 12, but I wanted to.
I think all 4 of us have talked about it after probably the top 10, 11 picks. You're probably looking at a big drop off because a lot of the landing spots for these guys. I guess I don't know if that answers your question or not, but yeah, I think there's a big drop off.
So you think Tua's taking that leap though?
I don't know. I don't know about Tua. I really don't know. I think if he doesn't take the leap, his NFL career is over. They gave him everything they can. They got a good offensive line, a good defense, a good running game, and they have one of the best young wide receiving corners out there. So.
All right,
I think he'll be better than last year, but if he doesn't he doesn't have to take a Josh Allen leap, but he needs to take a leap. Maybe like a hop.
I'll skip a jump.
Yeah. So all right, Jeremy, how do you feel? Same question. Do you feel there was a leap? Who's your selection going to be? Do you feel there's a leap or a drop? So upset with the leap here.
I will say there's a slight drop off. I personally think there's 3 more people on this board who are much closer to Jalen Waddle than they are to a Moore, but I'm not going to tell you which Moore until after I make my selection.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to take Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is my wide receiver 3. He was my 2 before. I dropped him 1 due to landing spot just because I like Jalen Waddle and Miami a lot better than Bateman in Baltimore at the current moment. But I think Bateman's going to come in. He is going to be the wide receiver 1 there. And I think his style of play is going to lend very well to the way that Lamar Jackson likes to read the field and where he likes to target. So I personally am not too worried about Rashad Bateman's landing spot. I think ultimately he's going to be fine there. I don't know if he's going to be like crazy numbers, but I think that he's going to be a very viable fantasy option.
Yeah, he might be wide receiver 1 in Baltimore, but the one thing that he has against him is Mark Andrews being on the same team with him, and
I don't know. I think
Mark Andrews is going to be technically he plays tight end, but he's going to be the wide receiver 1 in that offense.
I'll argue it. I don't think so. I think that the problem is they just never had wide receiver weapons. They had no one.
Yeah,
who was their best? Who's their
Hollywood and ever?
The guy can run a straight line. I mean, that's about all he can do.
Yeah, but they never featured him. That's my point.
Because Lamar Jackson can't throw it that far.
Well, problem solved.
Well, but then you're adding people. You're adding Rashad Bateman, who's basically played the slot in Minnesota as a 10 to 12 yard guy, 10 to 20 yard range. That's going to be perfect for Lamar Jackson. I bet you. Wide receiver 2 this year.
Listen,
we have 2 overall, but wide receiver 2 range.
I hope he can be there. I love Marquise Brown. I am a big Hollywood truther, and then they drafted Bateman. They definitely, in my mind, didn't use him as best they could. So hopefully they do that with Bateman.
Yeah, for how you and I have had many discussions about the Baltimore offense, Tony.
Yeah,
Antonio. But
it's a good offense on paper. It's a good offense for the NFL. Sometimes for fantasy, it can be frustrating.
I mean, they can keep handing it off to J.K. Dobbins. I'll be more than happy.
That's true.
And they said, and their coach even came out and said that they're looking for wide receivers to fit into their type of offense. So that kind of scares me.
It's going to be, well, for him, it'll be a lot of slants, a lot of screens, probably a lot of handoffs or jet sweeps. But I think there's a lot of good things, especially if they use him right. I'm sure we'll talk about another player. Hopefully he gets to be used a similar way. But let's recap round one real quick here. So we got Trevor Lawrence first. Jamar Chase went second, not quarterback. That went third with Justin Fields. Then Kyle Pitts, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance went 5-6. And then you had a running back run of Najee Harris, Javonte Williams, and Travis Etienne. And then a wide receiver run of Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Rashad Bateman. So one quick question here, Eric. Do you think anybody didn't deserve to be in this first round that was selected?
I think if anybody I wasn't going to take, it would be Bateman. And it would be for the guy I'm about to take. So
okay. That's fair.
Everybody just hates Jeremy.
No.
No, I think, I mean, looking at that.
No,
I'm just giving you a hard
I
time.
feel like it's.
But yeah, no, I was going to add, though, is I definitely agree. I think, like you said, Bateman, he's not going to be a wide receiver one probably ever in this offense, fantasy-wise, wide receiver one. But and maybe a low end too. But like I said, I think he'll be more in the wide receiver 3 range, depending on if this offense chooses to finally throw more, maybe. But I just don't think they will, which is what hurts them the most for me. But I had a question. I wanted to ask a question, Jeremy, because you made a comment about not liking one of the Moores, and I was wondering because I am choosing one of the Moores, but I want to know which one you think. I guess is on the lower end.
Mine's Rondell. I think that
you don't like Rondell?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
For me, it would have been the 3 where he asked. I would have been is Bateman, Marshall, and Elijah. I think those 3 are closer to Waddle than they are Rondell Moore. Although Rondell Moore is definitely intriguing landing in Arizona, depending on how he gets used. But
and I like that because I am going to take Elijah Moore, and he is who I would take at 12 over Bateman. I loved Elijah Moore before the NFL draft. A lot of people, I guess, didn't like his landing spot, but I was okay with it because obviously I'm high on Zach Wilson, and I think the combo is going to be fantastic. Crowder and Davis, who knows where if they're even going to be on the team after next year, and just in general,
or even come week 1.
Yeah,
Crowder at least.
I mean Davis, I think will be. But yeah, so I think he's gonna have a really good opportunity there. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Zach Wilson. So I was actually okay with that landing spot. And that's who I'm taking right now. So mark it down.
I think that was a good pick. Definitely surprising going over Rondell, but I can certainly see it. And Jamison Crowder. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, yeah, but just to mention why I took him over Rondell. So I do like Rondell. I think he's just a lot more risky. And on top of that, I don't think he's going to get the opportunity as quick as Elijah Moore might get. Because I don't think Hopkins is going to be there at least another 2 years, I could imagine.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning, Crowder's I think a $9.4 million cap hit this year. So I don't know if they want to be paying $10 million to Crowder. We'll find that out. But
post June 1st cut.
Could be one of those post June 1st cut. That'll definitely help out Elijah Moore. And the player I'm going to select next, I'm certain that will help out too because it's Michael Carter. I
wanted him.
Jets running back Michael Carter. We just went back-to-back. Jets here, 3 Jets in the top 14 picks. What are we doing? This is crazy. But I don't know. I think I like what they're doing. I have Michael Carter as my 3rd overall running back coming into the draft. So I was kind of surprised to see him fall, but I think the landing spot's fitting. He's going to be a good candidate to get a heck of a lot of touches. That offensive line, they struck gold with Mekhi Becton. I think that they've been filling a bunch of different roles. They've been signing a lot of linemen, so they're hopefully going to get that in order. I don't remember who their left tackle is right now, but I think they filled that for them as well. But yeah, I'm just excited for Michael Carter, and I would love to go Rondell Moore here. But I think right now with the value, with the running back lack of depth, I had to go Michael Carter here. So Keenan, What do you guys think of that pick?
I hate you. No, that's a great pick. I traded up actually in our Superflex league to grab him, and I think in front of you, Jeremy, and you were kind of mad. I think remember that when you were mad.
I remember.
But then you got
very
Bateman.
vividly.
You got Bateman now. So,
Yeah, so it worked.
yeah. So I want to take back what I said earlier.
Wait, guys, we messed up, I think. Or wait, how are we doing this draft? Is it like the NFL draft, or are we doing a snake?
Oh, I forgot to mention. Thank you for reminding. We are doing a linear draft.
Okay, all right.
So we're doing
Never
it
mind.
snake. Yeah, in Dynasty, you shouldn't be doing snakes, especially if you're doing it based off standing. That shouldn't be going linear.
You know how long we did that for?
Yeah, we did that for a few years.
Yeah.
We definitely did.
Yeah,
But now that we've seen the light,
yeah.
we have got the light. All right.
So it's me, right?
It is
on me.
you, Keenan. Pick 3 in the second round.
So I take back what I said earlier about there being a drop off. There's just a little slope last time. Now there's a huge drop off, in my opinion. So now I'm going to grab a quarterback, being at Superflex, and probably the last decent quarterback on the board. I'm going to take Mac Jones, pure pocket passer, perfect for Josh McDaniel's system. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with Mac Jones. Was it? What pick is this?
2-3.
2-3.
So this is the 15th pick.
Congratulations on your game manager.
Hey. Aaron,
Well,
Tom
you
Brady.
hope-
Tom Brady
hope
was
he
the
can
game.
become a-
Tom Brady was the game manager for his first 3 years of his career. He won 2 Super Bowls.
I'm just giving you crap. I like Mac Jones. He's not bad.
I think he went into the perfect spot. One of the perfect spots he could go to. He's brilliant. I don't know. I was just learning up some more on him, and the guy's just really smart.
Let's hope he's
got
not.
his master's in like 4 or 5 years. So, yeah, I don't know.
I got my master's
I hope he's not.
I got my master's in 5 years. You think I'm super smart too?
Yeah, well, one of you is making millions right now, so it could be you.
Listen,
I don't see your bank account.
you're right. You don't. You're right.
Pick 4, Jeremy. It's up to you now. The last quarterback went, well, I wouldn't say last. The 5th quarterback went off the board, Mac Jones. This is where they'll tend to be definitely a drop off, unless you are a big fan
Terrace
of.
Marshall.
Well, I meant quarterback drop off.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
They're gone.
All right, Terrace Marshall, good pick. Good pick.
I know some people are a little worried by the landing spot, but I'm not. I think Terrace Marshall in there, he might come in and play like a big slot role. I think there'll be enough targets, plenty to go around there to DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Terrace Marshall. And I think he's going to bring the size and be kind of a red zone target.
I don't think I'm worried about the landing spot at all now that Samuel's gone.
Yeah, I think that he is a great. I know that some people have kind of been worried because they're like, oh, DJ Moore's there. He's not going to become like a true alpha. But I don't know if he ever would have. He has the size, he has the build, he kind of has the speed. But I think being able to play like a second or third fiddle kind of, I think he's going to be great. I think he'll succeed. He's not going to be a wide receiver 1, but in the second round, you're highly unlikely to hit here on a wide receiver 1. So for me, I'm looking at a wide receiver or a high end wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 2. So I think it's possible.
And Robbie Anderson is a UFA next year.
Yeah, I'm excited to. I really like Terrace Marshall a lot. He was my 4th wide receiver, but I love DJ Moore. You guys know I love DJ Moore, and that's where, like you just said, Jeremy, I hope the targets, there's enough, there's a plenty. I just can't see myself drafting a DJ Moore and Terrace Marshall and then relying on a Darnold jump. It's, but he gets connected with Joe Brady again, who he had at LSU. So that's gonna be fun to see. I really, really like him.
Worst case scenario, you're getting Spencer Rattler next year, guys. Buckle up.
There you go. Eric, 205.
So here is where I will take the other Moore, Rondell Moore.
Look at that.
Like I said, he's not as safe as the guys we took ahead of him. At least I don't think so. But there's definitely a very good chance for him to have a good career and be very productive with Kyler Murray there. And I think maybe some people might take Tony over him. But I just like the quarterback situation in Arizona much better than I do in New York. So So that's why I'm taking Moore over him.
Yeah, I don't know. When the original selection happened, I was upset because I kind of like Rondale Moore coming out because he's 5'9", but he plays big, and as long as he's used properly, especially probably be in the slot, I think that'll go well. And it seems like that's probably what Arizona will do. We hope they'll do that when they drafted Green, who will go on the outside with Hopkins. So I don't know. I'm very excited for more Rondale Moore, but we want more Moores. So it's my pick now, right? Okay, so we have Trey Sermon on the board still. Let me just recap round 2. Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Mac Jones, Terrace Marshall, Rondale Moore. So I'm looking at Kadarius Toney. I'm looking at Trey Sermon. I went running back with Michael Carter at pick 2. So as I'm looking, I really like what Trey Sermon can do in San Fran. I think that's who I'm going to have to go with right now, because I'm really not too worried about Mostert. I'm not worried about Jeff Wilson. Well, I accidentally picked. But I think, I think Trey Sermon could do a lot. He's a big guy. I think he could do really well in the zone blocking scheme that they do there, zone running scheme. So, Trey Sermon, next best available running back.
Molstert's probably going to get cut.
Yeah, I mean, he's another guy that I think they're just going to let go. I mean, I thought they'd cut him last year. They didn't. Matt Breida went to Buffalo, so I think that let it be the Trey Sermon and Jeff Wilson show. All right, Keenan.
This is part of the draft.
What are you thinking here?
Man, I'm gonna go with Toney. I think that offense has the potential to be good with a good running game, and there's not going to be not a lot of pressure on Toney to be successful right away with Galladay there, and he might even be the third option. But I think Toney I think that offense could be good, and I think Toney has potential playing slot for that offense.
Yeah, I hope they give him the ball more. I really, really liked him.
Unless
he's my 5th wide receiver.
Unless Calvin Benjamin can beat him out at rookie camps. Did you hear he got invited to Giants rookie camps?
There you go. Giant for the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Jeremy, pick 8.
This is where it gets tough.
Nah, it doesn't. Nico Collins.
I was thinking about him.
Houston.
I was. Good pick, Jeremy.
Why don't you tell us about Nico?
I like Nico Collins a lot. I wasn't like crazy high on him coming in. I like the landing spot. He has a clear shot at an opportunity. He only has to beat out Randall Cobb as a wide receiver too. He's a big guy. He leverages well. He has great speed. He ran a pretty quick 40 at his pro day. And I just think he wasn't used like crazily in the Michigan offense. So that's where his draft stock kind of fell. But I mean, Houston took one of their like 3 picks and drafted him. So they obviously liked something about him. And I just think he leverages well. I think he's going to be a big red zone type target guy. I actually made a comparison on my podcast, and the way that he wins is like Michael Thomas. And I would probably never live that down. But now the hype's there. So, I'll just leave it there for everybody to rethink about how I said that.
Well, Michael Thomas was like probably, the 8th wide receiver, 8th, 9th drafted when he came out.
I'm just saying he reminds me a lot of them. He runs that same similar style. He boxes guys out. He does a lot of the same things Michael Thomas does, but not saying he's going to be Michael Thomas, but I definitely think he's got a good potential to be a high-end wide receiver too.
All right. Look at that possible diamond in the rough down there. Eric, 2-9, your last pick of the draft.
All right. Was this tight end premium or no?
No, just regular.
All right. Well, I am going to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was a later draft pick in the NFL draft, but I do think just with the limited weapons that they have there, that he could potentially get a decent opportunity right out of the gate, especially if this team really wants to see what they have in Goff. I think they're going to be, at least trying to pass it a decent amount. Which, like I said, could just turn into potential opportunity for him. And when you're talking, late in the second round in a rookie draft, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So that's who I'm going with there.
Yeah, I like that. I think he's been a really nice pick in later going later in some drafts. I think Sage Surratt, another rookie that was drafted out of USC, drafted pretty late. He went to Detroit as well, so keep your eyes out for him. All right, my last pick at 210 here. I'm actually going to go a little bit down lower. I'm going to stick with wide receiver, but tiny little Tutu Atwell, 5'7", like 150 if we're lucky. So he's tiny, but you can't tackle what you can't catch. And what I think that the Rams are going to do is just like Jeremy said. Houston had only a couple picks and they drafted Nico. Well, the Rams only had 3 and they took Tutu Atwell with their first pick of the second round. And I think I was surprised because I like Van Jefferson, but I think Tutu might come out and get used in the slot a lot. Or they might even put him in the backfield, and he might get used a bit like a Theo Riddick was in Detroit when Matt Stafford was there. So I'm kind of excited for maybe what Tutu could bring to the table, at least down the road, because that they like to run a lot of 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. They got rid of Josh Reynolds, so I think he could be a little diamond in the rough late in the second. Keenan, you got your last pick, 211.
Yeah, before the draft started, I had this guy as a top 5 running back, but his landing spot destroyed him. Kenny Gainwell, drafted by the Eagles. Obviously, they had Miles Sanders there. And then they just signed Kerryon, right, Johnson. So it's going to be a tough battle there for him. But he is the best receiving running back, in my opinion, out of this draft class. So he could fill a who am I thinking of? Oh, Himes role type of player early in his career, and then we'll see what happens with Sanders. Kerryon probably won't be there after this year, but. Yeah, I think end of a second round pick, grabbing him is a value pick. But you're looking for 2-3 years from now with him.
Awesome. All right. Hopefully he doesn't do much because I love my Miles Sanders. All right, Keenan. Thank you for that. Jeremy, let's close this out here. Last pick of the second round. Last pick of the draft. Who you going with?
I'm really torn here. I really think that this pick, honestly, isn't as bad as everybody thinks. I mean, right in here, you have a lot of options. I think I'll go with Dyami Brown. I mean, I know he's the top guy up there, but I like Dyami Brown. I think he landed in a pretty good option there with Washington. There's clearly no full-on wide receiver 2. Curtis Samuel was signed, but he's kind of like a hybrid at times. So I think Dyami Brown could play outside alongside Terry McLaurin. However, I don't know. I like his upside. I would have probably went between Chuba Hubbard and maybe Amari Rodgers there. But I like Dyami Brown's upside. I think he has the best out of those 3.
Awesome. I think that went really well. Just like the actual NFL draft setting a record for wide receivers taken, we had 12 of the 24 picks were wide receivers. So I think you might see that.
I don't think I picked a wide receiver.
Wow, look at that.
I think I took 2.
Yeah, Fields, Lance, Etienne.
No, I didn't take Lance.
No, that wasn't even you. Don't even. No, Fields.
I think I took two quarterbacks, 2 running backs. I got Waddle. Yeah, took the best wide receiver in the group. Yeah, you're right.
So who do you think was the best value pick, guys? Maybe just a couple questions before we round this out. What do you mean? Looking at this board and saying, "Wow, that was a pretty good spot to get that player."
Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter.
I just think he's
second pick, second round.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be RB1 there, and he has a chance to be RB1 at least. There's not much competition there behind him and whoever they just signed from the 49ers.
Honestly, I know obviously this class is pretty QB heavy, but I think all the running backs going late in the first is obviously great value.
That's true. Well, I mean, you could say the same. Like, I'm looking at Devonta Smith as being the best pick of the draft, to be honest, because you can get him down at 10, and like Keenan said, Michael Carter could finish number 1 running back. Devonta Smith could very much be the number 1 wide receiver. And Amon-Ra St. Brown,
And this is kind of what I was saying the last time is how I'm really excited for any first round pick in a super flex league is Jalen Waddle went as pick 11.
Yeah.
And I'd be extremely excited to get him there if I had the 11th pick. So
yeah, I think at 2-4, there's really you're starting to throw darts. So I agree. I think any of the top 16 picks, you're getting a great player. So
I'm trying to look it up. I think it was out of the last 6 years, the top wide receiver that was drafted was only the number one, finished the number one twice for rookies. Like Justin Jefferson was like the fourth wide receiver, third drafted. He finished number one. So you're not seeing the number one finishing number one all the time. So I think Nico Collins for you, Jeremy, like you said, if Deshaun Watson plays for Houston, you got Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins. So it could be a big opportunity for him.
Who was the biggest reach, you think?
Michael Carter.
Get out of here.
That's how. I just personally I like Michael Carter and I like Trey Sermon. I think Trey Sermon went in a perfect spot, and I think Michael Carter should go after him, but before him. So I think it should have went where Sermon went should have been Carter, and then where Tony was should have been Sermon. That's my personal opinion. I think people are reaching on the fact that Michael Carter, he obviously went in the 4th round. I think Michael Carter's a talented running back, but I just think that the Jets may replace him next year.
I think Tutu Atwell.
Oh, that is a pretty good reach too for me.
I'm gonna go with the first. Sorry, Keenan. Tell us why you think.
I took Atwell today in one quarterback league in F4-5.
He's going very late. Trust me.
Yeah.
A big reason I wanted to grab him was because of this. Because I think he's going to rise a lot in camp. I don't know. I don't see a reason why they would use that pick if he wasn't going to get used so much, or at least well to the point comparatively to where other guys are being drafted at this level. But I definitely understand that being a reach.
Go ahead, Eric. Your turn now, buddy.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm gonna go in the first round here. One of these high picks, a top 3 pick, I think is a reach. And no, it's not Jamar Chase. I think Justin Fields is the reach here.
Oh, here we go.
It's no surprise. Obviously, he was my 4th quarterback behind Wilson and Lance. I just like those guys better. Obviously, I said it on the last pod. I don't think Nagy is as great of a coach as a lot of people think. There is no guarantee that Allen Robinson is signed in the long term. Sure, the run game was good at the end of last season, but is Montgomery really that good? There's a lot of question marks, and we saw Nagy fail to develop a quarterback before. Obviously, it wasn't the guy he drafted, and
everything you're mentioning is short term, though. Yeah, look at the long term, my friend.
But everything in the short term affects the long term, in my opinion.
That's true.
That's true.
Not true.
Not true.
We'll see. We'll see. So, all right, that works. I think that was pretty good 2-round mock.
One thing I want to add here, I don't know if you guys noticed, Javon Hawkins going up draft boards, the undrafted running back from Atlanta.
Yeah, everybody's grabbing the wrong one. So,
which one are you talking about?
Should be Caleb Huntley. That's my call.
Yeah, Jeremy and I were talking about him before the show.
Well, I think
I like Javanian Hawkins. I mean, he's got speed, but again, he's another small guy. I don't think he.
Well, he doesn't have anyone to beat out. That's my problem. He's got Mike Davis in front of him.
And Caleb Huntley, both undrafted free agents.
Well, you got the wrong one. I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you, you got the wrong one.
You got the 3rd running back. I got the 2nd.
We'll see.
Well, I'm telling all of you, I'm going to close this show out because that was a great.
We're all forgetting about Quadri Olison, though.
We are forgetting about him, and Mike Davis. Mike Davis could have a great year.
I'm very disappointed in one thing in the show, that my trade did not go through, so I could see all 3 of your faces live. I even threw an extra 2nd-round pick.
If this was Wayne
to get this pick, to get this
Jeremy's league, right?
No, I'm not. It's not Jeremy's league. I swear on my.
Oh no, you said Superflex.
I swear on my kids, it's not in Jeremy's league.
Wait, so which league is it? I thought the Superflex is like almost done, isn't it?
The draft is. It has nothing.
You're just talking about regular trade.
Right, but Listen, I wanted to see all three of your faces, but I even
I
threw
know.
an extra second round pick for this guy to get this through. And
Just
I'm
to get
very
it done now.
I'm very disappointed that he's being a, you know what? All right, go
Wow,
on.
Miller's going to give you someone top. All right, so we'll
End the
take a look at
show.
it later. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you all for listening. Thanks so much for coming through. So we got to talk a little bit of schedule. We got to have our 2-round mock. We got to have Jeremy back here. Jeremy, why don't you tell everybody again where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at PopesFFH. You can find any of my writing at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and Yards Per Fantasy. You can find me as my own podcast at the FF Playmakers on Twitter. We're also on pretty much any streaming network. So other than that, just hit me up on Twitter.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you coming back again. 2
I
weeks
appreciate
in a
it.
row. I mean, we haven't showered since we've seen you, so I know we might smell a little bit.
Speak for yourself.
Either did I, so we're good. It's all like it's a thing.
I
you know?
definitely showered.
I love it.
Definitely showered.
What do you mean, man? We can't shower without a shortage. We can't have gas with a gas shortage. Man, there's so much shortages in the world.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks again. Like I said, you could find me at Antonio Denisi FF. You can find Keenan at Keenan_716. You can find Eric at Big E_FF and the pod at Dynasty Mafia_FF. So that's all we got for you right now. We might be taking a hiatus for a week. If not, we'll be back, but we'll catch you then. Mafia out.